Viewer discretion is advised.
That's what you go through. Is a lot of people giving their opinions, and a lot of their opinions are either negative or fearful, but it's just because that's how they feel about themselves.
Mandate.
Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. Tonight's guest is an amazing man. He is also a hip-hop artist. He was signed by the record label MTC, Move the Crowd, and also did a lot of recording out in New York City, out in USA. But also the man has gone independent in terms of his music. He's done a lot of collaboration with other music artists, but also the man does a lot of filmmaking in terms of music videos and so forth with artists such as Donnell Lewis, Kenyon Brown, and DJ Noise, to name a few. And also the man has his own show. He's the host of his own satire and comedy show, which pertains to a lot of political content. And so please put your hands together for the man himself, the man who doesn't shy away from controversy, Derty Sesh!
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Just to start the ball rolling, and just before we kind of dive into the conversation, brother, because you are very confident, straight off the bat, very confident. And I think that's something that we should address in terms of confidence, in terms of, is that something that's embedded in you or something that was taught? And also, how much of that confidence, how much do you think in terms of the man or manhood, that confidence should be something that's quite important as men?
The confidence, basically, I grew over time. You know, like everything else, it just came from a lot of mistakes, experiences, all that kind of thing. And then, over time, like knowing what I wanted to do from the beginning, I knew it had to come with a lot of confidence. And it was always hard, bro, because when you're like 14, 15 and you're like, yeah, man, I want to be a rapper. They're like, okay, bro. You know what I mean? Straight away, it's just, you're flawed from the beginning. So you have to have a lot of self-confidence and just believe. I know it sounds corny, but you got to just really believe in yourself to know, like, no matter what anyone says, I know where I'm going. I know what I want. And this is what I got to do to get there, basically. So yeah, I just kind of grew it over time, you know what I mean? Because if you don't believe in yourself, I mean, no one's going to believe in you. So that's where like the confidence kind of comes from.
Cool, man. I love that because I think sometimes our people kind of tend to think of confidence, or you're a bit overconfident. It's kind of like, oh, it's ego. It's this guy's a bit arrogant.
Yeah.
And so what is your take on that? Because they might see, oh man, this guy's a bit overconfident, but I don't think there's anything bad in that in terms of not being egotistical and arrogance, but there's something special about having the self-confidence.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like that's one of my things I would always say to people is like, don't mistake my confidence for arrogance. You know what I mean? Because I especially here in New Zealand, it wasn't really a thing. Like if you're like confident in yourself and you're saying, yeah, I'm the man at this and this and this and this, but it's coming from a confident place because you believe in yourself, it's very easily mistaken as just like, this guy's a wanker. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's just up his ass. He's just, da-da-da-da-da. And you're just, that again, that's happened a lot over the time. But you just got to remember, like for me, myself personally, like, I know I'm not being arrogant. I'm not an arrogant person. But there are times where I've got to champion and cheer for myself when nobody else will. You know what I mean? Because I know what I'm doing and I know who I am again. So, yeah, when it comes to like the arrogance and confidence, it's like, bro, most people just saying that just don't have any like confidence in themselves anyway. So why should I listen to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool, man. Awesome. Well said.
And just to touch on that confidence aspect there, are there sort of, because I guess, is there a flip side to being confident in, like, our society is kind of a strange one, and, Izzy's talked a lot about tall poppy syndrome and things like that, but is there a flip side to being confident that you kind of have to reassess the people around you? And do you need people around you to support your confidence, or is it when you're confident you can sort of gun it alone?
Yeah, I mean, the reassessing part is, yeah, you definitely will need to reassess when you're doing your journey. Like with my journey, like obviously you had people that would cheer you on, but then you also had a lot of people that would make certain remarks or snarky things here and there that you knew right then in that moment. You're like, that's usually what someone who doesn't like me would say, but you're apparently my friend or you're on my side. So yeah, I mean, that's where that whole like tall poppy syndrome thing comes from. And yeah, bro, Izzy nailed it when he spoke on that, you know. Yeah, it gets a bit difficult, but again, it's like, that's why, like, I believe only some really push through and make it, because life does test you that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just an easy road. It's not just like, hey, you can have it and everyone's going to love you and support you. No, that's just not, especially with what I do now, you know what I mean? But I already know this, and I learned a lot from my years being being a musician and being signed and being in the industry and being around certain people that I thought were my friends and blah 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 blah. That over the time you have to just build that self-confidence inside yourself and know, like, nah, this is what I am, who I am. And if you are around me and you don't believe in my vision then you shouldn't be here. Basically, like, I don't know what you're doing here. And you just gotta, you know, it's hard because like a lot of people find it hard to like drop people around them that they love. You know what I mean? But sometimes those people aren't the best people next to you when you're trying to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I agree. Like 100%. Sesh, in terms of, yeah, sometimes you have your circle of friends, and sometimes even whānau can be your worst enemy in terms of, and can be sometimes your worst haters.
Yeah.
But in terms of your confidence, because it is, you put yourself out there. You've done music, video clips, and so forth. And so, like you said, I think you said, you were in the music industry, and you still are. But there's some people that there's some things that you kind of saw, and you think you didn't really. Like, but what was your greatest learning in being in that kind of space?
The biggest takeaway was just to remind myself why I'm doing this, because along my journey, man, especially in the beginning with the music, like I did more than my 100 hours. I did my 1,000 hours to get where I was, and that's how I got where I got, right? But along that journey, sometimes, as some people describe it, like the devil likes to throw little things in your way, and you have these temptations, and then you start losing sight of what or where you were going. And so along that journey, like going through those ups and downs, man, and then coming out of it and realizing, holy shit, all the people that I thought were my friends and stuff who were really just randoms, but they were just, you know, supporting me. I want to say other words, but
Say it, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, like, you know, other people that were hanging around me were just on my dick because of what I was doing and what I could bring to the table. But then once all that kind of started fading away, like you started realizing they started fading away, and then you're like, hey, hang on, how come there's only like 2 people left at this table when there was like 25 the other day, or, you know, last year, or whatever it was. And so the biggest takeaway that I got from that when I started doing what I'm doing now was just, no matter what comes and what temptations and offers and stuff like that come my way, just to remember to focus on the work, because the work is what got you there in the first place. And if you take your eye off what got you there, then you're just going to sink down that hole and think it's going to last forever. And it may last for a little bit, but eventually, if you're not consistent with the work while you're doing the pleasure, then you're just going to end up nowhere, right? And someone else is going to take your spot.
Oh, man.
Just thinking about, you know, when you sort of recognize the people that aren't really there for you. You know, some people say, oh yeah, we grew apart. But then there must be also times where, like, maybe that's true, but maybe there's also other times where you kind of have to confront a person. Or is it like, from your experience, do you kind of like identify patterns in people where you're like,
I think over time it came from, like, some people just have that same mentality where they just want to, they don't even realize it, but they just stay in that same hole or same room is better way to describe it. They stay in that same room with their same thoughts. They never think to elevate or what else could be. And so if you're just stuck in that room with that person, you're literally just going to be a replica. You're just going to replicate whatever they're thinking. And so what I tried to do was, well, again, it just goes back to, I already knew what I wanted to do. I knew where I wanted to go. And yeah, I wanted to bring certain people, and yeah, I would love this person to come, but being who you are in this moment, the person that person is, that's not going to work well with what I'm trying to do and the doors I'm trying to get into. You're still thinking in a hood mentality, and I'm over here trying to elevate out of the hood and trying to do something with my life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was fun when we were playing, like when we were being shitheads and doing stuff that would get us in trouble and, whatever. That was cool or whatever, but it's not cool. But, at the time being a youth, like it was cool or whatever. But I have goals and I want to achieve these goals, and we're not going to achieve them if we're just going to carry on doing the same shit. So eventually you just have to leave that room. And again, it's unfortunate people don't like to do that, but I mean, again, bro, like, do you want to leave the room and go into another door, or do you just want to stay here and be stuck here? And then 10, 20 years later, you're going, fuck, my whole life is gone, and this is just where I'm at. Jeez. You know what I mean?
Because why is that, Sesh? Because you bring up a good point in terms of, we can be in the midst of our friends and so forth, and oh, cool, let's just do this. This is just great, and never change. We just find ourselves in a rut, and we just can't get out of this rut. And there's, like you're saying, if you're in the hood, you just want to stay in the hood, but you had goals.
Yeah.
Why is it that sometimes that people would rather prefer to just stay in that rut? Is it? I don't know. Just your views. What's your thoughts on those who stay in that rut?
I think it's just like I think that's just, it's not their fault. A lot of these people, that's just how they're conditioned. They were conditioned to think like that. You know what I mean? They just don't really they don't see themselves doing anything, and the lifestyle that they're choosing to do at that moment, they feel like that's the best one suited for them, but they don't even realize that leads to nothing. You know what I mean? And no matter how much you try to pull that person towards you and be like, bro, trust me, if you just did this and this and this, or I see talent in you, man, so why don't you just try this and this and this? But they don't want to do it. It's like, there's only so much you can do, you know what I mean? And then after a while, you just gotta go, you know what, fuck, you just stay here, I'm gonna go. But like, not in like a bad way, but it's like, again, like, what are you gonna do? Like, if there's a lifeboat there, are you gonna stay on the ship with the guy that's sinking, or are you gonna make your way out? Like, I don't want to sink, you know what I mean?
Oh, man.
And you bring up a good point about, like, sometimes people don't even realize that the thing they're trying to avoid, like, they're doing the exact thing that'll keep them, like, in that same sort of space.
Yeah.
And it's sort of interesting hearing you talk. You seem to have quite a good handle in terms of self-awareness.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious about, you've mentioned knowing what you wanted to do from a young age. I'm kind of curious about where that came from, because you're right. A lot of us are like, play for the All Blacks or be a policeman.
Yeah.
But to have that vision at such a young age, I'm curious about what led to that, because there aren't many people that have a vision for their life and then kind of stick to it.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to music, bro, the earliest memories that date back is literally videos and pictures of myself 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, dressed up like Michael Jackson, like doing performances in front of like family weddings or family occasions or whatever. Anytime the beat came on, I'm there, I'm dancing, I'm performing, right? And then as I got to like the 9, 10, 11-year-old stage, I started like listening to a lot of hip hop and getting into that. And I was like, oh my God, it was just like opening a third eye. And now I'm like, oh shit. And then when I got to 11 or 12, I kind of knew, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just like something inside of you. But basically I knew right then and there, I wanted to do music, whether it was like producing music, rapping, breakdancing. I didn't care. It was just something about music that I was just really attached to, that and film. And so I stuck with that, man. I mean, I dropped out of high school when I was 15 to become a rapper. You know what I mean? I had that dream. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know what, but I knew that everything that I was doing, whether it was like school and sports, like I loved basketball and stuff like that, but nothing gave me that same fulfilling feeling than when I was like making music or listening to music. And so it just started from there, man. I was like, started writing my first raps when I was like 12, 13. They were trash, obviously, but I knew right then and there, like, nah, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. So I dropped out of school and then I went straight into the Dawn Raid course. And they were having a course at that time. So I'd go out and I did a 3-month course with them. And that was cool. And I learned a bit of stuff there. And yeah, just never left. Like I knew a lot of the boys from the hood that could rap, and they could rap really, really well. But it was almost like the passion only went as far as let's just like get a box and then chuck a beat on and rap. You know what I mean? Where again, I was always like, bro, you rap better than me. Why don't you, my missus, this, that, all these like reasons and excuses that I ended up, well, that's what I think they are, like, that just literally misguided them and then they went down a different path. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's basically where it stemmed from, man. And just having that, again, going back to confidence, all that kind of stuff. But I just knew what I wanted to do, and there was nothing nobody could tell me. And it wasn't like I was stubborn or anything like that. It was just like, no, like, you don't understand. I can do this, and I just need some time. And so I used those years to perfect my craft, and then I got signed to the record label that I actually wanted to be signed to, with the artists that I actually enjoyed,
Jeez, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Was there ever a time where, because you obviously you have this vision from a young age, you're immersing yourself and putting yourself out there in terms of putting things into practice. Was there ever a time, even though you had this vision and you knew what you wanted, but was there ever a time you were like, you started to doubt kind of, or waver a little bit on the conviction?
Definitely. I mean, I think we all, whether we want to admit it or not, we all have doubts. You know what I mean? Like that is, especially when you're like, bro, for me, like, I was the kid that would buy like a P Money album or a Scribe album. I would look at the back, find the P.O. box thing, send my tape in, and send it to every single label, like from the most underground label to the most popular label. I didn't care. I just wanted somebody give me a chance, please. Just listen to me. Like, this isn't a joke. I'm not just trying to be like, oh, I heard an Eminem song today, so I want to be a rapper. Like, it wasn't like that. It was like, this is embedded in me. Like, I can't stop. So, what did you ask? Sorry.
About just the times when you started to waver on your conviction.
Oh yeah. So yeah, going through that whole process, there was a lot of doubts. You know what I mean? It got to a point where, yeah, I just didn't really give up, but it was just like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get that. You know what I mean? But I just kept going. I had just kept with the self-belief thing. And eventually it all paid off, and it paid off in the right way, because I almost ended up signing to somebody else. And I was literally like a couple days from signing that contract. It was with, do you guys remember Fast Crew?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was with their management. And it's because I had nobody else, and, they were the only guys really listening to me. And then the MTC thing happened, and it was just straight away. I already knew, like, no offense, thank you for everything, like da. But bro, if I don't take this shot, I need to do this. So yeah, but before then, a lot of doubts, man, a lot of doubts, and then like a lot of doubts after that. You know what I mean? Like, you get the taste of a little bit of fame and success, and then like, this music, this work that had been working on for like a year and a half prior, because I basically, I produced and wrote my whole album by myself in my mum's garage for like 3 or 4 months straight. I actually worked in the mines in Australia and saved a lot of money. And even then, like, I was making like $1,200-$1,400 a week, which was like a lot of money back then. And I was living at my auntie's, so I didn't really have to pay any rent. You know what I mean? So I'm saving all this money. So I ended up just buying heaps of equipment, flying it back here to New Zealand, because at the end of the day, like, it was funny because all my friends would be like, bro, why did you throw that job? And I was like, because that was a pivotal moment that made me realize that money isn't everything. You know what I mean? Like I didn't care how much. I had no friends, so I was already lonely. And then on top of that, when I did come back, obviously I would shout the boys, would go to all the stores on High Street that we couldn't afford and just window shop, and I would buy them things and stuff like that. And that was cool, but there was nothing fulfilling my soul, and it would always go back to, I want to do music. You know what I mean? So anyways, yeah, I brought all the shit, came back home, spent all these months in my mom's garage, created the album, and then just did a video clip by myself, and then, or for myself. And then the boss of MTC saw it. And it was real weird, bro. So the way it happened was I Googled my name just being like a dick one day. I was just like, let me just Google my name. I was nobody, you know what I mean? I wonder what pops up. And literally just for fun, I did that. And the MTC blog page at the time popped up. And I was like, why did they pop up? And then I had a look and I was like, it's my video. And they had posted my video, and then I went on Twitter, and then I found out that the boss had started following me. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a long shot here, bro. I've got like a full album ready to go. Like, how do I send it to you? And he just sent me his email, and then yeah, it's history from there.
Bro, how many tracks Sesh in the album?
There were originally like 22. 22. No. But we had to chop it down to 13. So yeah, it was funny though, because like now you can just send Dropbox links and stuff, right? Bro, back then I was like on Hotmail or something. I'm like uploading every single like song one by one.
Bro,
yeah.
That's incredible, man, because it is like you mentioned that you kind of, you know, in your mom's garage for 3-4 months, you're writing the music and you're producing and you're directing it and you do the film. Bro, you mentioned work, because that takes a lot of gusto, but also a lot of self-belief. Yeah. But because your work ethic is crazy, bro. And so, what do you think in terms of work ethic, in terms of becoming successful? Do you think a lot of men are afraid of that work or hard work?
It just depends. Like when it comes to like different men, it's hard. So like when you're talking about like men that like work construction jobs or scaffolding jobs, like that's probably their passion. So they are probably doing the work, like, you know what I mean? But for me, choosing something that's outside of a regular 9-to-5 day job and sticking with that consistently is a very hard thing for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because again, self-belief, self-doubt, all that kind of stuff, all that shit comes into play. People, hey, you got bills to pay. Hey, I'm hungry. Fucking whatever. And you're like, no, I'm going to be this one day. You know what I mean? And so, the work ethic thing is a big part of anybody's success. If you're not working, bro, if you're not working on your craft, again, you're just going to get left behind, because somebody else is out there working 10 times harder for that spot, and they don't even know that you're going for that. They're just going for themselves. You know what I mean? So for me, I just had to go for myself. Like, I just had to put it all in there, have no distractions. Obviously, distractions coming. I remember I was living with the bros in Glen Eden, and I'm in there recording. And our pad was like called HQ at the time. And so we had all the dudes, all the boys from the hood around Glen Eden come to our spot to drink every weekend, right? It was like the drink up pad. And so I would have boys coming in and out, bro, come have a buck. Oh, bro, do this. And I was always, just wait, man, I'm just recording this last verse. You know what I mean? No, what do you mean? Like, like, what the fuck? Just come out here and have it. Like, relax, man. You don't have to work so hard. That's a lot of them. Bro, relax, man. You're not Tupac. It's all good. Like, in terms of work ethic, like, it's all good, bro. You'll make it. Just come have a drink. But I was always just like, no. I got to do this, bro. I got to do this. So, yeah, it's hard because I know a lot of people would rather take the drink. You know what I mean? They'd rather, yeah, you know what, bro? Hard. You're right, bro. Fuck this. Let's just go have a. What am I talking? We got tomorrow. You know what I mean? And then tomorrow ends up being the next day, and then the next week, and then the next year. You know what I mean? Sadly. But yeah.
Bro, and you have to be real disciplined, eh? That's bro. That's hard, man. Like you're saying, you mentioned about temptation and so forth, man. It would have been hard to say, I'll just go with the boys right now. But bro, kudos to you for staying in there. No, I need to finish off this verse.
Yeah.
Because it's easy. It's easy. It's the easiest path there. The easier path. Like just do this. I'll come back to this tomorrow or whenever.
And I've been a victim to that, man. Like, I can't say that I've just been perfect, because I haven't. I've definitely been a victim. Like, when I was speaking earlier about, like, you know, the roller coaster that I went on after getting signed and stuff like that, and feeling the lows and stuff like that, you know, I definitely ended up, you know, getting too comfortable and lazy and stuff like that. But then, you know, I feel like a lot of people have to experience things for themselves before they can change, you know? And you're not going to change until, like, you want to change or you see that you have to change, you know, if that makes sense.
That's good, bro.
Yeah.
Man, that's interesting. Yeah, just speaking on work ethic and discipline, you kind of touched on a little bit, and I was just thinking, is work ethic and discipline something that can be taught to you, or is it something you kind of have to discover for yourself?
I think it's something that you have to discover for yourself, because I don't think everybody is born with that, or, you know, I don't think it's embedded in everybody, because if that was the case, everybody would be successful at things that they love to do. You know what I mean? So that's why, again, it goes back to, like, I don't want to say like chosen few, but like, because really you're choosing yourself whether you want to be that disciplined. You know what I'm saying? So it's only the ones that really, it always just goes back to self-belief, because at the end of the day, man, like, you have to believe in yourself to keep that consistency and work ethic going. You have to really be passionate 100% with whatever it is you're trying to do. Like, I'm 100% passionate about music, film, all that kind of stuff, just entertainment. Like, I love it. Like, I love it. Like, if that's what I could do just for the rest of my life, which is basically what I'm doing, that's what I want to do. You know, like, I'm a dude, bro, that's like literally worked 20 different 9-to-5 day jobs. I've tried everything. I've worked everywhere. You know what I mean? And every time I worked a 9-to-5 day job, I just had that feeling of just like, I'm not meant to be here. This feels wrong. You know what I mean? But it wasn't me just telling me that because I was lazy or didn't want to work there or anything. It was just a feeling, again, where you're just like, I'm not meant to be here. Something feels wrong, but I'm only staying here because I've got to pay rent next week. And I need to figure out how to get myself out of the situation, because I hate waking up early hours in the morning at the airport and doing that kind of stuff, you know, and doing those jobs. And like, the people I worked with over the years, great people. I met a lot of people, like cool people, you know what I mean? But it just wasn't me. And again, it goes back to, so what, you think like you're better than us? So it's not about that, bro. Like, this is just not what I'm meant to do. And it's great that you love whatever you love doing. I think that's great. I think some people are born just to work at like the dairy or whatever it is you choose. Like, it's not a down thing. It's more just, for me personally and many others, I want to do this in my life. And unless I do that, I'm never going to be fulfilled. I'm just going to be like the other guy that's sitting in the corner who wishes he could do something, but he's just miserable because he's listening to family or friends or whatever, and they're telling him, bro, you can't do, bro, you're dreaming if you get, bro, you know what I mean? So you start believing those things and you just never get out of that. I don't want to be that. And when I see that person, I think, how pathetic. I want to go and do my thing. I hope I don't come across like rude or anything, but that's just my mentality. You know what I mean?
All good.
That's good, bro.
Bro, that's yeah, like really interesting perspective. And so I'm curious about how you balance. You had mentioned before other rappers you knew that were in the hood that were like mean as, but then they had like family or whatever the reason was. And I know, you know, you've got your own family too. Yeah. How do you find balance in terms of like, you got that vision that you're chasing, and like clearly there's some things that you just won't relent on, but then you've also got family where it's like, I don't know, how do you navigate that? Because that's a sort of a big juggle for a lot of men.
Yeah, so when it comes to my kids, like, I've had many conversations with my daughter's mom and stuff like that, where she already knew what I was doing before I met her, and she knew what it was. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely been moments where it's like, you know, make sure that whatever you're trying to do is going to bring money in for your child and da 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 da. And there was a lot of moments where I was like, yeah, but there's no money coming in. But I'm like, yeah. But it's not really like, I don't want to say it's like lying, but it's just like, again, it's just believing like, okay, you just need to be told this for now, because if I say something else, it's just going to get worse. You're going to, over here, you know what I mean? So long as yes, it's fine. Everything's fine. And I just keep going at what I'm doing. Because eventually, bro, at the end of the day, once they start seeing the results and they start seeing the effect that you're having, like from the public and stuff like that, trust me, 100 times over, man, they're going to be like, my friends like think you're funny. My friends heard your song. My friends saw that video you did. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I'm not like the shithead lazy dad that, like, you know, is whatever they think of you, you know, in that time. And so yeah, I always go with like the end product, and the result of that product will always win over doubts from those people, you know, like on the side. Not that like my daughter's mother ever really had doubts, but I'm just saying like those conversations and discussions do happen over the years, but you just got to keep your eye on the ball, bro. You just got to keep focused and do your thing and realize like this is all going to pay off one day. And you know, sometimes you think that in the back of your mind, it's not going to fucking pay off. please. Yeah. But yeah, again, just staying consistent with your work ethic, man. It really helps, because yeah, I mean, if I I've had moments like just getting into like the comedy stuff that I've been doing. I don't know what was going to happen, and then like, you know, I would see, you know, them coming to me. So apparently you're really funny. I'm like, so they're hearing through their friends, which is just a good sign. You know what I'm saying? It shows like he's not just, you know, pretending he wants to be whatever he's trying to achieve, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. But well, let's touch on the comedy and satire, your show, because it is. We've seen on several clips, and man, it is funny. It's funny, but also very cleverly done, bro, in terms of how you bring out the content. But so tell us, walk us through in terms of how did it all start, and was it just by chance, or was it just you felt like you needed to be the voice for other people?
The voice for New Zealand? Yeah, so long story short, man, it basically started with me getting locked here and locked into New Zealand when we all went into lockdown and stuff like that. Because I was working in Australia, I was working with a lot of artists, I was filming a lot of music videos. I just had shit going over there, right? So as soon as this like started happening, where it was like seriously got a lockdown, well, I don't want to be another year away from my kids and stuff like that. So I got my ass back here, and now I was locked here. And you know, when I came back, man, I actually really wanted to be. I've always wanted to be an actor. So I asked one of my film friends, who's a director, and I was like, "Hey, dude, who can I talk to be in a movie? And I want to be in a movie. I don't want to be on Shortland Street. I don't want to be in a commercial. I want to be in a fucking movie. Okay, who do I talk to?" He was like, "Yo, hit this person up. Boom, boom, boom." We get locked up. Literally like 2 weeks after that mail, news starts coming out that everybody on set has to be vaccinated. And my sister, she's already got like one of the best agents in the world, in the country. And she's like telling me, "Yeah, bro, like you can't be on set unless you're vaccinated." So all these things started happening where I'm like, it felt like my dreams once again were all just getting crushed. And I was like, just sitting there very frustrated, upset. And to be honest, man, I've always been anti-establishment. I've always been like, when I get pulled over from the car, fuck you guys. I mean, I was always that guy, you know. So when this started happening, I just started slowly making videos where I was saying what I thought, and I started seeing they were getting a lot of traction. So I decided, how about I mix a bit of everything together? I mix a bit of cool music, I mix a bit of humor, and then I tell them what I really fucking think about what's happening. You know what I mean? And I don't know if anyone's going to get it. I don't know if anybody's going to accept it, but I'm just going to do it, put it out there. And you know, I had those fears of like, oh man, if I do this, like, this door's gonna get closed. This door's gonna get closed. Oh, this person won't like me. Oh, this guy might unfollow me. Da 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 da. And I'm like, bro, you've never been in those doors anyways, and it doesn't look like they're fucking opening anytime soon. And the people that you're worried about unfollowing you, what have they done for you? What have they done for you, bro? And this is me talking to myself, you know what I mean? So I was like, it was like, bro, you got a better chance of putting this shit out than making another fucking song no one's gonna hear. So just try this. So I did it. And I didn't want to come off. Dude, there were some people out there that made like, yeah, fucking, like, you know, to the government. I'm like, oh, I don't want to come across like that. It's a bit fucking crazy, you know. So it had to have a bit of wit and a bit of a smartness to it, you know what I mean? And so I just started doing these videos, and they started popping off, man. You know what I mean? And people started going, oh, you're just like joining a trend. It's like, again, you don't know me because we've never had this in the world where the whole world has stopped and everybody can kind of like just, you know, sink into their phones and see what people are thinking. But I've always been anti-establishment, you know what I mean? I was always like, fuck the man, like, fuck the guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, all the gatekeepers, oh, we can't get you in here. And I was like, you know, like... But yeah, so that's where that came from, bro. Just doing that content and then seeing the reaction. And of course, I thought like, fuck, I'm just praying there's like at least like 30% good comments. You know what I mean? Because I know it's gonna like ruffle some feathers. Oh, it's surprise, surprise. It's like fucking 95 and 5% bad. You know what I mean? 95 good and 5% bad. And I'm like, ah. And the funny thing is that the more I was like less editing myself, meaning like just really saying shit, it was going bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? Because there was a point where I started going viral on a few things. And so I was like, oh no, now the following's getting up. There's a lot more people looking at me. I better not curse as much and da 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 da. And then I would see that kind of just stay stale. And then something would happen where I'm like, I really feel like fucking saying something. So I would just do it and then boop, 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 boop. I'm like, So the thing that I had to realize was just to be myself. Well, at least like a side of me, you know what I mean? And just released. And it was good, bro. It like felt good doing that because you're just walking around the fucking bedroom just like frustrated, like I can't do anything. And for me as a creative, I need to get that out. You know, I don't have therapy or anything. That is my therapy. You know what I'm saying? So being able to do that as soon as I would make these videos, songs, whatever, and I put them out, it was just like, oh, I feel free. I feel like just so much weight off my shoulder. And then now you guys can hear it and see how you feel about it, you know? So that's how that came about.
Man, that's...
That is awesome. That's funny. I was, because I checked out some of your stuff in the lead up to this. And I think, I was thinking like, man, this must be what people are feeling when they sort of check out your content, where some of it sounds taboo, but that's just because in the field that we operate in, it's always like, you know, gatekeepers and you have to behave a certain way.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel you on some of the frustrations in terms of the establishment and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was really refreshing to hear some real honest thoughts and just the way you speak so authentically. Like I never ever got the feeling like you were censoring or putting on a show for people. It really comes across as quite genuine. And I think in today's world where everyone's so worried on social media, especially about the way they're perceived, it's really refreshing to see someone just like go for it.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it comes with the package, Sesh, in terms of, because it can come off real controversial. And people are like, oh man, what the heck? And the cool thing about it, what you do is because people are sitting there, I can imagine people rallying behind it. Yeah, he said it. Oh, cool, he can say it. And I think a lot of our men, because and if you can share your thoughts in terms of a lot of our men probably want to say these things. And I've had some conversations with other guys and say, oh, yeah, I would love to say that. I want to say what Sesh is saying, but I can't. And so, how would you? What kind of words of encouragement would you say for our men? Like, hey, man, just say it. If you can't say it, because some of them are fearful, like you were saying, I might lose my job, my friends, or someone might hate me, all that kind of stuff. But what kind of encouragement for our men to say, hey, just be yourself, just say it, and have the balls to say it?
Yeah, that's a tough one, man, because that's a tough one. Because if you already have like walls up around you in terms of like, I might lose my job, well, you're not going to fucking say anything no matter what I say, are you? Because, yeah, hard, bro, I agree. I'm not fucking saying that.
Oh, they say it, lose their job.
Yeah.
They're bloody Sesh, man, will be fired.
Exactly. But yeah, one thing that would buzz me out is I would get a lot of people coming out to me, man, you're so brave. And I love that. But they'll be like, you're so brave. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm brave? You're saying it like you can't say that as well. You can. No, I can't say that. My mom, man, what she would think of me. It's like, it's hard because for me, I'm just like, who gives a fuck what your mom thinks, bro? Just say it. At least you're being you. Just be you. That's the whole point of living this life is just be your true self. You know what I mean? And like you were saying, but it's hard, especially in this climate. Like everyone's just way too sensitive. I don't know where the fuck that came from, but everybody's just really like, oh, can't do this, can't do that. And it's just really weird and bizarre to me because what are we meant to do? Just be silent and just be like, yeah. I really like that guy. And as soon as he leaves, you're like, that was a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like, why don't you just fucking tell him? Like, I mean, you shouldn't tell him. But to go with what you were saying about just advice for men, like, it's hard because, like, if you are one of those men that are, or like, that speak your truth, then you're already doing that. You don't need anything from me. It's hard because, like, this shit is just in me. It's in me, bro. And like what you were saying before, like one of you was saying before about how like authentic and genuine it comes across. Like I saw people that were almost switching their style of how they were already doing their Instagram posts and trying to add a bit of like, a bit of this humor thing. And it just kind of came off cringe. It just came off weird because that's not you. And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like if you're chasing views or whatever, then sure, try to go at it. I don't know. But the reason why I feel like it works for me is because that is me. It's just nobody's ever seen that. Like all my friends would always be like, bro, why don't you just do something like you're a funny guy? Why don't you just do something funny? But for me, I was always like, what am I going to do that's funny? I never had any ambitions of doing any comedy kind of stuff. And like, so when I did this stuff, it just came natural. You know what I mean? It was natural to just say these things. So going back to what you were saying about advice for men, bro, I can't say anything that's going to make any human change their mind or their thoughts unless they want to do it themselves. Like if you wanted any type of advice, yeah, it would be just the honest, genuine, but cliche of just be you, man. Just be you. Just, stick with your gut feeling, like stick with your intuition and just go for it, man. I mean, it's hard because a lot of people are just scared to lose friends and families and jobs and stuff by speaking their truth. And that's sad. You know what I mean? So I keep saying, you know what I mean? I'm noticing that. So I'm like fucking saying
yeah,
that.
you get it, man. That's cool. But you're right. I think you hit it on the head. I think I don't know, maybe we just become real passive or maybe we're just too PC now. And I know there's a lot of, and even for myself, there's a lot of things you want to share, you want to say, but we're afraid to get cut off at the knees.
They're scared of getting cancelled, whatever that is.
All that stuff. Well, yeah, people think, I can't say that. But you're right, we're not being authentic. And I know there's a lot of men out there, and because they want to say it, but they would rather have someone else like you say it or some other guy mention it. But it's becoming really sad. It's kind of like we actually need permission to say, oh, should I say this?
Yeah.
Can I say this?
Yeah. It's honestly, it's just making, in this case, it's making men weak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like, obviously not physically, but like, you're just mentally weak, bro, if you're not standing up for yourself or you're not speaking your honest truth. But at the end of the day, like, I love that I can be a voice for other men, women, whoever out there, you know what I mean? Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be that I'm literally that voice that you are when the curtains are closed.
Cool, man. It's cool.
I say what everybody out there is thinking, but is too scared to say it. That's what I'm doing. And it's not because, I'm just trying to be a rebel, or that's just how I think. And that's just, I know for a fact there are more people out there that believe and think what I'm saying. It's just, again, the climate that we live in, they're too scared to say it.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It is sad, and like you're saying, Sesh, there's no judgment in terms of some guys who want to say because of different circumstances, different situation, and all that other stuff. But it is, I feel like there's a sense of like you're saying, bit of softness or weakness that our men are not able to rise up and say these things because of certain situations. But I'm glad that you are a voice out there for some of for our tani and our men out there. And so, how does it make you feel? Because obviously you get a lot of good feedback. But besides the good feedback, what are some of the trolls? Because I could imagine there'll be some trolls kind of hitting you, say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was mentioning it before we started rolling. Like, nah, man, I don't really get that many hateful comments. Say, like, I know people out there probably believe like my inbox is just filled with like nasty messages. They're really not. They're really, really not. I mean, I was explaining to you guys the last time I got like a hateful message or a troll or whatever was about 2 weeks ago. And the time before that was probably like 6-7 months before that. And I again, we're talking about confidence and arrogance or whatever. I believe it's because when they see me, they know that I'm real. This isn't like, there's a lot of people on social media, a lot of social media influencers or whatever that do content and stuff like that. But it's like, if they get hateful messages or something, it's like, oh no, what should we do about this? Where I'm just like, bro, there's a button at the top of that screen and it says ring me. So just push the button, call me if you got a real problem. Otherwise, you're just trying to get a reaction and I'm not going to give that to you. So unless you have a really real problem, then call me. And I don't mean it in like, yeah, let's like get it on or whatever like that. I mean like, so you can hear that I'm a real person and that what you just witnessed is a show. It's a character. And if you don't like the show, just change the channel. You know what I mean? But a lot of people just won't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to call you. No, I don't need to talk to you. Well, then why the fuck are you messaging me this? What do you want me to do? What is this? You just want to let me know your thoughts? I don't care about your thoughts. And I gotta like sometimes cool myself down because it's like it comes across like arrogant or something like that. But I really don't care what it comes across as because I don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks. I'm just gonna do me because I know deep down in my soul I'm not here to maliciously hurt anybody. I'm not out here to put anybody down. You know what I mean? Like it's. Yeah, it's like, do you guys want to interview Leonardo DiCaprio for being a racist? You know, like with the Django movie. That's how silly it feels sometimes. It's like, why are you bothering me with this? But that never really happens, bro. Never. That really rarely happens.
Cool, man. It's interesting.
It is really cool.
Yeah. I think that's a good sign that you're sort of touching, like it's connecting with people. I know from... I'm a teacher by trade, so I have so many frustrations about things I want to say, but they monitor everything. So like I just find my own way to like... You
want to strangle the kids and stuff?
Hey,
swear the kids.
Some of those kids need a hiding.
Getting them in trouble. Nah, I feel you.
Yeah. And I think... At least from my own experience, it's cool to hear people say the things that you really like. You think it and you're like, why is nobody else saying it? And then someone like yourself says it and you're like, cool, I'm not going crazy. Because sometimes
I get a lot
it's
of
really
that.
easy to feel like, am I the only one that's feeling this way? And so it's just really cool in that regard. But I think just to touch on some of what you're saying, I think there's definitely ways for men to still be themselves, even within like something as restrictive as a school and a classroom and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's ways that I can do things differently from everyone else.
Yes.
And there's definitely ways to express yourself, but I think you've taken it next level where you're able to be yourself in every field, in every form. And I think based on the videos, and I was going to say this before, I could just tell from your videos that you were always a funny cat, even growing up. You must have been funny as to grow up with. And so, because you've got quite a few siblings, yeah? You're the oldest of 6?
No, I'm the oldest of, so I've got 2 younger sisters and a younger half sister.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about that relationship in terms, because we have sort of a interesting family dynamic where there's quite a big age gap between us. But I'm curious about what that's like in terms of your siblings and sort of your field of work and their thoughts on that. And do you sort of does that influence them in terms of what they want to do, or?
So with my sister, who's 4 years younger than me, she's based in Perth. But growing up, I know when I was doing music, it was a big influence on her. It made her like want to try to do some music and stuff like that. I know I've been a big influence on my other sister, who's Alex. She sings and acts and does her thing, and I know that she was watching me as a child and stuff like that. She wouldn't probably agree, but she copies most of what I do. But and then I have like obviously my younger half sister, but she stays with my dad and his wife. Sorry. So yeah. But no, as a sibling thing, like when they watch my stuff, yeah, they just know, they know who I am. Like what you explained, I was that guy, or am that guy, you know? So they were just like, this is Nate being a dick. This is just him just being a shithead, really, you know what I mean? So, and then everybody else just gets to see it through this character that I've kind of created while filming. So yeah.
But it's brilliant. It is brilliant. The characters, and it kind of reminds you of kind of like a Dave Chappelle show. It's that kind of feel, and it's cool, and I love it because I don't know if anyone else is doing it in New Zealand at the moment, and it could be something that you're pioneering, bro, in terms of, because you said you want to be an actor, and some of the restrictions because of COVID, and you had to get the vaccination, all that kind of stuff, but you went on your own bat and said, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna do my own show and start doing my own thing. Yeah. And look at it. It seems like a pattern, bro. It seems like, okay, there's restrictions here. I can't, they're saying no to me, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do my own thing. Mm-hmm. From your music career, independent music, and then now you're acting. And so, bro, how do you feel about all of that? Because it seems like you're on a path of something that's gonna blow up. I really believe so.
Well, I hope so, man. I mean, fuck, my pages have been restricted so much, especially my Facebook page. I don't even really bother posting on that anymore because just like, bro, it went from less to like barely just reaching anybody, you know? But no, I'm trying, man. I'm just keeping up with that consistency, and, you know, shout out to people like Izzy who have shared my thing, like my content, and really got other eyes on it and helped grow my following, even though that's not what he was trying to do. But like, I really appreciate and see that, because it is really hard to do the stuff that I'm doing and try to grow a fan base when the gatekeepers, the people at Instagram and Facebook, are really putting their like hand over people like myself. And I'm not really one of these dudes who are out here like, hey, did you know that the vaccine has this much? Like I'm kind of doing that, but it's like, bro, I'm so happy you said the Dave Chappelle thing, because that was literally one of my idols, you know, coming up. So I do a lot of things that just come to me naturally from watching Chappelle. So I hope one day it could be turned into like a real show, but I don't know if it ever would be, because of the things that I say. You know, I know that if I ever had to go to TVNZ, it would be, look, we love it. We love the show. But maybe just not say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like any of this stuff. And it's like, but that's my whole thing right there. That's why they like me. So it would be a bit hard. So I just got to keep doing the independent thing and just doing it myself, and just hoping one day one of these millionaires that watch me actually invest and give me some of their money so I can turn it into something, you know, turn it into a profitable business, I guess.
Man, but it seems like it's the way to go in terms of independence, because you have your own. You have the power to do your own thing, and you know no one tells you what to do. You're responsible for everything. You come up with all the characters and so forth. And like you were saying, people might invest in it and you think, oh no, you know, TVNZ might say, oh no, you can't do that. You like you just said, But I think, I don't know, is that the way to go? Like,
No, it's not the way to go, but it should be the way to go because they don't have anybody watching their fucking programs. So, and they need something like me, man, because it's new, it's refreshing. You know, like what you guys were saying, like who the fuck is doing what I'm doing? Nobody. But it's not like I'm just saying things just to say them and nobody laughs or nobody, you know, it's just like, oh, look at this guy. He's just being obscene, like for no reason. It's not like that. Like when you watch it, you actually get a laugh, and you get a laugh like when you did when you were first watching things in like the 90s or the early 2000s. And that's where that's my genetics is all of that. So when people are like, oh, I can't believe you said that, you might get canceled. It's like, canceled from what? You only canceled if you really believe in that whole like thing, you know what I mean? Like, oh God, I'm gonna get canceled. It's like, I don't give a fuck. All these guys are just pansy little kids anyways. Like, what are they gonna do? Nothing. You know, so I just keep doing my thing, and I'm just, yeah, I know that there is a massive audience out there for me. I already know that. It's just tapping into their screens and getting them to watch my stuff. You know, because it's like so many people that have come out of the woodworks that support me has been mind blowing. I'm like, oh, really? I didn't think you would like my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when I see that, I'm like, fuck, if these people like my work, imagine if we could just tap into like just 40% of the rest of the country. I was going to say 10. I want more. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense.
no, that's cool, man. It's cool. You talked about writing your music and so forth. How many characters have you come up with, if you conjured up now? How many characters have you just kind of written down, skits and all that? How many have you kind of created now?
They're always changing. A lot of my skits are based on real life people. I'll pretend like, you know, in the past I've pretended like I'm Jacinda or I'm one of the prime ministers from Australia because I like doing the Australian accent and stuff like that. And now I've like got a transgender character. I've got I did the skit where I'm interviewing myself. It's going to be coming out soon, and it's like a transgender interviewing me, and another. I called him Brian. I don't know why. It was just the first name that came to my head. And he's literally got like stickers all over his face from his booster shots that he's had. I just come up with just crazy, insane shit. Like Chappelle Show is a big influence for me, you know, like how ridiculous was a lot of the stuff that he did, but it was funny though, you know, and some of it hits, some of it was a bit of a trial and error, and I know that that's what I'm going to come across as well. You got to understand these things when you're coming into a game like this. You got to understand that it's not just going to be, yeah, good. You are going to get ones where people are like, what's cool though, maybe next one. But understand that the people that you idolized and looked up to and were influenced from went through the same thing. So I just keep that in mind. If like, you know, a skit goes out there and people are like, that was cool. It's not like, oh no, I should give up now. You know, none of those thoughts.
Cool. And go into the shower.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a question I wanted to ask you earlier, but like I've just been trying to drum up the courage. But like the way you're like you being you, I'm just like, man, ask it.
Yeah.
Just say it. And I was just gonna ask about like, and perhaps it's my ignorance showing, but just relationship in terms of you and your father, and like pressure to live up to a legacy, or to like pressure to branch out and create your own, which is what it sounds like you've crafted your own lane essentially.
Yeah.
But if it's not cool to ask that.
No.
Yeah.
So what are you asking? Sorry.
So just in terms of like your relationship with your dad, with your father, and just if there was any pressure to live up to like a family legacy or anything like that.
So coming into the music scene was really like one of the biggest misconceptions about me was that I got a record deal and I got like signed and all that was because my dad was famous, and that always fucked with me, like always, because I knew a lot of rappers that weren't even as good as me were getting more respect because people thought, oh well, they come from the hood, but I probably came from fucking worse than what they came from, you know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing for me was just working myself away from that. Like I wasn't the kid at school that was like, hey, you want to know who my dad is? Like that was the last thing on my mind. And if people brought that to me, I'm like, hey, are you like Mike's son? I'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'll just keep moving, you know? And sometimes that came across like ignorant or arrogant, and people be like, oh, this guy's fucking up himself. Then he thinks he's too close. They didn't realize like, I don't care about any of that shit, bro. Like I'm trying to do my own thing. And it was difficult, you know? Imagine your parent being as big as they were, basically like the Eddie Murphy of New Zealand at the time. And you're over here like, yeah, I want to be a rapper and I want to get in the music industry. It's like, oh, so you're just trying to be like the old man. I was like, fuck, I'm not even thinking about that guy. Like this, he doesn't even understand music like I understand it. Like this is a real thing. And going into the like comedy realm, like that wasn't, I wanted to stay away from, like I was saying before, my friends would be like, bro, you're funny. Why don't you do this? Like, because there's already one funny person in my family. I don't need to try. And these people are just going to be like, trying to be like the old man, eh? And I was like, fuck off, bro. Like, no, I'm not trying to do any of that. So doing what I'm doing now, I don't feel like I have to live up to anything because I'm just doing me. And what I'm doing, I know for a fact he wouldn't say and do what I'm doing in this time, and if he was still a comedian, because I know a lot of comedians out there that are too scared to touch the subjects that I touch, and most of them are trying to, whether even if they agree with me, they'll not do that style. They'll do the style that fits the more PC realm, but no one gives a fuck about that. No one's going to listen to you, bro, because it just sounds like you're taking orders from the teacher or the principal. You know, you're just being a teacher's pet. Nobody cares about that. We've heard that. It sucks, bro. So, yeah, sorry, doing what I'm doing, I'm just trying to do me. I'm trying to do me to a point where it just feels like that's Sesh. And if anybody else is out there trying to do what I'm doing, they're going to be like, oh, this guy's trying to be like Sesh. So, yeah, I don't really think about my dad's career or anything like that. Like, I love that he was successful. Yeah, of course. Proud that he was successful, of course. But when it comes to like what I'm doing, it's never been a thought of like, I wonder if I can be just like my dad. Like, no, I've never had that, ever. Wanted to stay away from that as far as possible.
That's wicked, man. Because I just imagine like that's a unique struggle. Like not many people can, have to deal with that unique type of pressure and all that kind of thing. So I think because hearing about your journey, I think, and then just thinking about that, I was like, that must be like traumatizing almost. Like you could almost just as easily, like it's a slippery slope where you could just as easily fall into a depression and just never come back out of it because of the pressure. Yeah. But it's just honestly mad respect. I'm like, just for you to like, acknowledge it, but bro, that ain't me. Like, this is me, and you're gunning for it. It
was horrific, bro. It really actually fucking was, because he doesn't know this, but he was obviously on stage doing famous jokes about ripping into me being my son wants to be a rapper and blah blah blah. He didn't realize the ripple effect that I was getting at school. I was getting teased and bullied and shit like that. Like, these people know I'm trying to be a rapper, and they're like, oh yeah, like your dad's joke, eh? And you're just like, fuck off, bro. Like, this is real to me. This isn't a joke. Again, I didn't listen to Snoop Dogg one day and was like, yeah, I want to be a Crip. Like, it wasn't like that, man. Like, hip hop was embedded in me. Like, I studied everything. I actually wanted to be a DJ first and foremost. I loved the DMC battles and stuff like that. I was really into that. I would make my own like DJ Severe type like album CDs and mixes and stuff like that. So when I would go through all of this at school, it was quite like deflating. It was, again, it would bring you back to like, fuck, I don't think this is going to work, man, because people just aren't going to take me serious, And like, no fault to him. He doesn't fucking know that, like, he's just doing a joke. He's just ripping on our family because that's what it is in that comedian realm. Like Chris Rock would rip on his family. Kevin Hart rips on his family. All these people talk about their family, right? But the thing is that people think they take it too deep, or they use it as a weapon to try and push me down. So I'm like, I rap. Oh yeah, we heard. You guys heard the fucking joke, and you're just like, oh fuck.
Bro, that's some real talk, bro. Because it is, you are just hearing and just gauging from what you're talking about. You are your own man.
Yeah,
it is. It's just. Hey, Jay, we just sense it. You just your own man. And I didn't even think of your dad. I was even thinking like, man, this is my king's son. Like we knew you were my king's son, but when I first saw you on the scene and in your clips, I didn't even know you were my king's son. Like, oh, this guy's cool. Until later, I was, oh, bro, okay. It's cool, but you didn't have that like there was no like, oh yeah, there's a comparison just like his dad. There was nothing like that. I was like, man, this guy's doing his own thing. He's in his own buzz, his own energy, his own vibe, and it was just about music. Maybe just naturally you're funny just because just it runs in the family.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you kind of standing on your own 2 feet. Say, hey, I'm Derty Sesh. That's my dad, but this is who I am. Yeah. Because I can imagine and like what Jay was saying, a lot of the pressure. Because some people could have just said, yeah, man, and run with it. Yeah, I'm my king's son. Yeah, man, this is who I am. But you're to the opposite, and we appreciate that. We appreciate your real talk, but also appreciate that. Hey, I'm who I am. I'm authentic, 100%, Derty Sesh, whatever, and you're doing your own thing. So kudos to you, man. Because a lot of people need to hear that. Like, bro, you need to be yourself. Be yourself.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I was the guy that was chasing so many different looks and sounds throughout my years. Like, maybe if I rap like this and I sound like Eminem, like people will like it more because it kind of sounds like something they're already familiar to. And then now I'm going through that depressing stage of why aren't they taking me serious? I'm just getting ripped for being a blah blah blah. Only years later did I look back and be like, oh, it didn't work, bro, because you did sound like Eminem and you did do this and this and this and this. You weren't trying to just sound like Eminem. You were just trying to get people to take you serious, that like, I'm so good that I can emulate other rappers and I can sound like them as well. And it wasn't until doing the comedy stuff and really taking a break from music and then going back and just trying to rap in my normal voice, because I always had like an insecurity about it. I was like, my voice isn't sexy, like my normal talking voice, like it is now, but it doesn't sound sexy. It has to be with an accent or whatever to sound cool, because that's what we were conditioned to think, like especially like rappers here in New Zealand. That's why half of them still sound like they're fucking from New York or something when they're really not. But the one takeaway I'd like to give to everybody out there is just to, whatever your craft is just to be yourself. That's the only way it's going to work. The only reason why people like my shit and they fuck with me is because I'm honest to who I am, and that's who I am. I'm not coming up on there and being like, hi guys, today I'm going to take you through a spiritual journey of blah, 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 blah. Because that's not me and it wouldn't work. It has to be how I am, because it's like, it's naturally who it's literally the reasons of why I've gravitated so many people around me in my life that laugh at my things or whatever. And it's just putting it out there in front of the public and just being myself. And that's how it all works. And people think, no, it has to be, let's try it like Jimmy. Let's try it like Dre. Let's try it like Sesh. That is not going to work. It may help. And it's okay to use in little micro bits here and there, because I'm not going to lie, like the bro said about Dave Chappelle. Yeah, I take a little bit of that and I take a little bit of this from the people that have mastered it. And then I just make it myself through my own voice. Because again, like for me, I've studied so many like people, bro. I've studied like Snoop, Dre, all these Michael Jackson, blah, 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 whoever, like really big time people. And the reason why they are is because nobody else looks or sounds like them. And nobody else can look or sound like me, especially with the way I deliver and execute my content. So, yeah, I don't know where that came from, but
bro, man, the passion was there. The passion, the mana was there.
Oh, and that's interesting because you talked about wanting to be in film and all that. Bro, your own story is like a freaking anime or a movie, like and it's so unique. Like not many people, in some sense, it's unique. But I think a lot of people can relate in some sense in terms of your journey to have this dream, find yourself, be authentic, and literally not give a damn.
Yeah.
And just chase it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be like, bro, props to your journey, but also you've got your own film in the making right there, bro. Like you're living it. So I can't wait to see it on the big screen one day, bro.
One day, bro. One day, yeah.
Just don't forget us, yeah. But hey, because in terms of obviously with the satire and the comedy and so forth, would there ever be a time where you would think to yourself, just hypothetically thinking, just you would do something quite serious or a serious role?
Yes. Well, I've like for myself, you mean? Oh, sorry. Sorry. What were you asking?
Yeah. Would you even consider, like, obviously with the comedy and the satire, would there be like a role that you're like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do something serious. I'm gonna cry on the specific scene and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, for sure. I've already been jotting down ideas of like characters I would like to do that would just be left field from what I'm doing, because again, that's another way of showing your variety and what else we're talking about me, so what I can do. And I know I can do more serious dramatic roles. But it's just finding the right role and dialogue to say to make people go, holy shit, this is so left from what he's doing. But for now, I mean, I'm one of those guys that susses the internet. Like I put things online just to see how the people react. And right now they like what they like. So that's what I'm going to deliver until I've perfected something that's a different role. Unless if I, by the gift of God, get hired for like a bloody movie or something like that as one of those characters. But yeah, no, like for me, I've been writing like a short film, which is a bit more a dramatic piece. I know people would probably think, bro, you'd be the man at writing comedy. I don't think I would be. I don't know. That's a bit scary because that's way too much pressure. That's a lot of people going, this is going to be fucking hilarious. And then you watch it like, fuck, I didn't laugh once. So I don't want that. So I started writing like a piece that's very similar to somebody I know's life. And it's a bit more realistic, a bit more grounded, a bit more, I wouldn't say once we're warriors, but a bit more just real. Something that when you guys watch it, you're going to be like, what the fuck? This is from Sesh? That's what I would like, the reaction. Just like you were saying about the reaction of, I don't even know this guy's fucking, who this guy's dad. Well, I don't realize that. I love that. I love that because you're right, man. It really shows like just being your own person.
Yeah. It is. Do you dance as well? Do you do a bit of?
I can do a little bit of.
Oh, so you're a bit of a triple threat, like you sing, you do music.
I love dancing, man. I love dancing. I was the kid that would go to the club. Literally, I know a lot of guys like, I just go to club to dance, but they're there to get chicks, right? I would go there to battles, and I'm doing all of this, we're creating. Me and my boys are creating the circle and like doing our thing, and I love dancing. I love all of that kind of stuff, man.
Bro, man, you're so versatile. Like you're dancing, you're the music, and then you got the acting. And so where to from now? Like I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that no one has even considered, or I don't know, maybe some people have kind of sort of tapped you and say, hey, this sounds like a cool idea. But I'm surprised that people, or someone has in the TV or music industry, or even not music industry, but more so the TV industry, has not say, hey man, this is a cool concept. Let's do this. No one?
No, I haven't been reached out by anybody. But like I said, man, I already know why. It's because of what I'm saying, man. Like they're not trying to get it. Let me just think about what I'm gonna say. Hang on, give me a sec. Like, put it this way: when it comes to Izzy, right? He just won what he did, and one of the first pieces from New Zealand Herald is just taking a shit on him. They're just bringing him down. Oh, he was whatever. And what I'm leading to is they want people to be this Greenpeace tree hugging, like mind your manners, like do all this kind of stuff, like to represent New Zealand. They like that. That's why they like no disrespect at all, because fuck, put me in a movie, brother. But I know that's why they like people like Taika and that, people that can go along with that role of like, hey, I'm from New Zealand, green trees, green mountains, where it's like Izzy's more got that American mentality, whereas I feel like I have that too. It's more so like kill or be killed kind of mentality. It's like the reason why these people aren't coming up and asking me to do a show is because of what the fuck I'm saying. And I don't know what it is or why it is, but I just know deep down inside, again, if that shot was given, trust me, bro, I would be reaching a lot more fucking audiences than half of their TV programs. And I just know that. That's not even a cocky thing. I just know that. I know that for a fact because I know what the fuck I'm doing and I know what they're not doing and I know what the world is missing. And everybody thinks, no, we're leaning more to like this kind of thing. No, we're not. People are just too fucking scared to stand up and say, we don't like that content. We like this content. So until people do that, then people like me are going to have this rough, long journey to get to that place. But I do believe one day it will happen, you know, whether it's by myself, whether it's from somebody else, I don't know. But yeah, to answer your question, dude, like, nah, nobody's reached out, but that's fine. I mean, it doesn't make me want to stop. It makes me want to just keep going even harder, just to prove my point of like, bro, like that transgender piece that I put up, you know, and saying the things that I said on there. Who the fuck is going to say that? And like, nobody will say that. Nobody. I've had people go, bro, I want to comment and just be like, I fucking love this, but I can't, because they'll see their name and be like, oh, so you support that or whatever. But it's like, I just feel like I have that voice and personality where it doesn't, there's no cancel culture when it comes to what the fuck I'm doing. The people love me because they love me because of what I'm doing and how I'm saying it and how I'm delivering it. And the reason why they won't fuck with anybody else is because they can't do that. And if they ever tried to do that, it would just come off, icky. You know what I mean? It's like I could say something funny to somebody, the whole room laughs. This other guy, not you, but another guy, maybe you. No, but like another guy says it and it's just like, oh, that was offensive. It's hard. It's like it's hard to explain, but the best way to explain it is like, it's me. It's embedded in me. It's embedded in some humans where it's like, you can control a room, you can make people laugh. But if the bro does it, it comes off like, bro, is this guy fucking all right? Like, what was that? So yeah, sorry about that little rant. No one's ever given me a platform to speak, so I'm just trying to get everything out there.
They should, man. They should. I think it's just timing as well. Sesh, it's timing, and I think even regardless of if not, bro, you're still picking your own way, and you already got a following. People are following you, people are liking it, and just you saying that, people are DMing you, say, hey man, I want to say this. It just proves, and it goes to show that people are like, hey man, we want to share this, we want to talk about this. We love the fact that you're actually talking about it. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And so just keep going. And so, bro, we just, I think it's really inspiring, bro, because I think I can imagine. I think we touched base earlier on, Sesh, that you said that, this is my passion, is what I want to do, and 9 to 5. But you imagine how many other men out there want to do the same thing, but just, I don't know, just feel like they're just stuck or trapped.
It's hard, bro. I understand. It's really fucking hard. I get it, man. I've been in the same position. Don't think I'm anything special. I am. But like, don't think that I'm anything special. Like, I've been there, man. I really fucking understand what it's like to feel like you're just suffocated and you're just stuck there. But the only way you're going to get out of there, and I hate going back to this, you just got to believe that it's going to happen, eh? You just got to block all the noise. You got to block all the family and friends that are telling you it's not going to work, and just fucking focus in and just stick with it. You know what I mean? That's the only way you're going to achieve anything in your life, is if you do that. If you just sit on the sidelines and you watch everybody go, well, fuck, see you later, I've got things to do. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but it's a piss poor mentality, and it's a sad one, but you just gotta block the noise, man, and you just gotta run. You just gotta go for it. Because if you don't, one day, or even one day soon, God forbid, you will die. We are all going to die. We're not going to be here long. We think, oh man, we're going to live till we're all like 70, 60, 30. Oh, 30. Hopefully longer than 30. I made it. But yeah, sorry. I meant to say 80. But yeah, no, we all think that we're going to like live till like we're 60, 80, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is that we don't know. We really fucking don't know. And if we're just going to sit there and just be like, oh, well, I better just fold my arms and cross my legs and just do what I'm told, then people like me just look at you and just be like, well, see you later, bro, because I've got like a life I want to live, and you have a life that you could live, but you're leaving all these excuses and reasons, which in the long run, it's just nothing but just self-doubters control your mind and can make you just think that, oh, this is all I'll ever be. And that's not who you are. But if you just keep feeding into those voices, that's all you're ever going to be. That's all you're ever going to achieve, is just living a miserable life with something that you never actually wanted in the beginning. That's why, like, when I came in here, just real quick, that's why when I came in here, I was like asking you guys, like, whoa, is this like all your guys' stuff? And da-da-da-da, because it's really, like, this shows me, like, initiative. Like, what you guys are doing, it shows me, like, oh, these guys are, like, for real. They got, like, the legit cameras and lenses and shit like that, the mic, like, I don't know anybody that's, like, just pulling money out of their pocket to do this and not really, like, know what's going to happen. And, you don't do this thinking, like, this is going to get, like, 1 million views. Like, it's just, especially here in New Zealand starting off, so just seeing this, like, you guys are already showing men what it can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just get like a shitty little mic and just a half whatever, like a half by camera, and just chuck the light on, bro. And it's not even a cool light. It's like, just turn the lights on. It's like, nah, these guys are out here like really putting a lot of time and effort into what they're doing. And that's why they have me, because it looks fucking cool. And I want to look cool on the podcast. But it all comes back to just believing, and like, you guys obviously believe in what you guys are doing. That's why you've invested all this time and money and shit like that. And if men out there aren't doing it for themselves, then again, you can only lead a horse to water. Is that the saying? You can't make them drink it. You can only say so much to somebody, man, that they've got to have that switch go off in their brain to make them go, you know what, today I'm gonna fucking get it, and then tomorrow and the next day and the next day. But that's why there will only be a certain amount of people that actually make it in this life, because there's only a few of us that actually want to go the distance.
Man, bro, that's so good.
Man,
That's so good, bro.
yeah, I think really awesome corridor, and it's just made me think about the way that you are, and in comparison to the way the world is. The world seems to shift back and forth.
Yeah.
But I just think in the future, like, not everyone can say this, but to be able to look back on your content and be like, I was me the whole time. And eventually the world's going to swing in your favor, and it's be like, bro, I was here from the get-go, like standing my ground, pioneering this. So I just wanted to give you big ups for that, but also for bringing up the Izzy thing, because I was shocked after he had that massive win, and then reading,
the recent one.
Yeah, the recent one, and then the media just like calling him out on, because he pointed out to the kid. And,
and
I was like,
it too? Yeah.
I was like, bro, this guy just like conquered his demons and on the biggest stage, reclaimed his belt, and then it was like,
and then you guys fucking shit on him.
That little thing, and they just honed in on it.
And then you wonder why he doesn't wear a fucking New Zealand flag when he walks out anymore, bro, because of shit like that. This guy is the biggest person in New Zealand. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He is massive. He's bigger than the Prime Minister, any of that bullshit. He's bigger than Jacinda, whatever the fuck you guys think. He is. And he's known by people that everybody knows. Joe Rogan, Drake, I don't know, just fucking name somebody. They know who Izzy is, and the respect that he's given when he comes back here from our media is just shit, bro. It's just fucking bullshit. So I with like, no homo, but I love that guy, eh? Like, I've never had a real chance to like chop it up. I've met him like once. It was like real brief. But like, yeah, bro, it was so funny though. I'll just say this, and I'll probably say it to him if I ever get to talk to him. Like, I remember following him and just his whole career and stuff like that. And just when I would watch like his stories and the stuff he would post, I remember in the back of my mind, I was like, I reckon if this guy like just saw my stuff just once, I think he would like my shit. I don't know, but I'm just seeing what he's posting and things that he says, and it's very similar to my mind state. And I could be wrong, but I feel like if somebody just shows him just a little bit of what I do, I think he will like it. Literally like 6-7 months after that thought, the man's like sharing my stuff, following me, and I'm just like, it was like a manifestation kind of thing, but it was reassurance that, like-minded people think alike. And yeah, so I give heaps of like respect and praise to that guy, because yeah, man, he is again the biggest thing here in New Zealand, and the way he gets treated here sometimes. I don't know if it's because he's black. I have no idea. I don't know if maybe it's because of like how he is, like, you know, just his persona and stuff like that. But regardless, man, like the dude is like bigger than the All Blacks, I think, and to receive the stuff he receives. No wonder why he was doing posts like a year ago or whatever about moving and leaving. Is because fuck, I would think the same thing too, man. It's like, bro, I'm out here putting you guys on. I'm putting the whole country on, and you guys are fucking shitting on me. This makes no sense, bro. Just what? Just because I don't fucking shake dicks and smile and, you know, suck a couple diddles and be like, you know.
I love it. Brother, man, bro.
Oh, Izzy, man. Izzy.
Shout out Izzy, man.
But you're right. You are absolutely right. AJ, you think of Izzy, you think, man, Izzy versus Alex Pereira, he defeats him, you know, he lost to him 3 times. And then he comes back and defeats him. And the way he defeats him, he knocks him out. Like, just crazy.
It's not by points. He lays, and it's not even just like a kind of a KO. Guy's fucking flat out.
Yeah.
Like the biggest and the best way you can do it, you know? Gives an amazing fucking speech at the end.
Sure.
And then comes home to, look at this fucking pathetic, like, da-da-da. You're just like, oh, fuck off then, you know? But it doesn't really matter, because just like Izzy and like myself, at the end of the day, when we go outside, the people fucking know who we are. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter about what critics think or what this guy said over here or who this guy, whatever, saying. It doesn't matter, because when I go outside, the fucking people know me and they touch me, and just the way I touch them. I was gonna do it. Time. I was gonna do a joke, but I won't do it. But yeah, that's some real shit, man. You know. Yeah.
Just go back to what you said from the onset sessions. It's like you really believe in yourself. You look at his mindset and your mindset. It's just you really 100% believe in yourself and believe that you can conquer this. You can do this.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, I think of Izzy, that's incredible. What you're doing, it's incredible. And I think a lot of men need to follow suit. It's like, man, what the heck? Is this if Derty Sesh is doing this, Izzy's doing this, bro? There's a possibility. There's a true possibility I can do this.
That's what I try to do. At the end of the day, yeah, I'm trying to make you laugh, blah 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 blah. Hopefully you get a little bit of message. I don't know, a lot of people are fucking dumb out there, but hopefully you get the message, you laugh. But the main takeaway is that I want people that feel helpless to walk away like, fuck, if this guy can say that, and look at the comment section, man, that they fucking love him, you know, like maybe I can fucking do what I want to do. That's my biggest thing that I want people to take away, is to be inspired. If I die tomorrow, hopefully I don't, Jesus, but if I did, the biggest thing I want people to take away after watching my shit is to feel inspired just to be themselves, you know, to walk away and be like, yep, he did it his way. He didn't care about what anybody else said, his family, his friends, whatever. He just did it. He stuck to his fucking guns. He's the man. I want to be the man. I want to do something like that, because that's what I feel like when I look at someone like Izzy as well. It seems like we're all over Izzy's diddle as well, but I don't want to be there. But I did want to say real quick is like, so like, you know, because we're talking about men and stuff like that. To all the men out there, don't let other people's fears be your fears. That has been one of my biggest fucking things for me, is people texting me and telling me how they feel about my content, and it's literally just their fears on me. And now I'm walking around with anxiety. I'm like fucking worried and scared, but then I step back and I'm like, wait, why am I fucking nervous? I don't feel that. This isn't how I feel when I put my shit together. And then I realize like, oh, it's their fear. It's their insecurity. It has nothing to do with me, because I'm not even standing on their street. I actually live about 10 miles down the road. But for some reason, they're trying to put me on their same street with them, being all nervous and fearful and, oh my God, and da-da-da-da-da. And it's just like, nah. So if I could say anything, just try not to like let other people's fears be your fears, because that's what a lot of this journey, like going through this journey, that's what you go through. Is a lot of people giving their opinions, and a lot of their opinions are either negative or fearful, but it's just because that's how they feel about themselves or about the content or whatever it is that you're making. But it has nothing to do with you. especially if you're feeling good like myself. I genuinely have no hate or anything towards anybody, no matter what you think. I know people are selective with their hearing. All they hear is gay bashing or something in some of my stuff, but deep down inside, the reason why people still fuck with me after I say all those jokes is because they know that I'm just having a goof. I am not actually like, ugh, yucky, get away from me. Like if I met someone like gay, I'm like, ugh, I can't meet you. We can't have a conversation. That's ridiculous, you know? And so, yeah, I just hope people out there like have that as a takeaway, you know? Don't let people's fears be your fears, because it happens to all of us. You know, and the only way we can get past it is just to understand what that is and just keep it moving. Don't try to address it. Don't try to be like, oh, I can fix this, because 9 times out of 10, you can't fix it, because in order to fix it, you have to change somebody else's mind. And you're not going to change their mind unless they're willing to change it themselves. So, yeah.
Bro, well said, man. Well said. Any last questions or any other questions, Jay?
I think Sesh answered it. I was actually going to ask on behalf of Charles. You know, Charles always has that question about like, what, at the end of the day, what is your legacy? And I think you answered it really, really well in terms of like helping people be inspired to be themselves. So honestly, this is probably the first time where like I actually don't have a closing question. You've answered everything that I was curious about, and done it in such an amazing way in terms of just being real about it.
Yeah.
Because I think people pick up on that. And so it's just been cool to like hear your thoughts almost. I mean, I'm sure there's a little filter, but it seems like it comes out unfiltered.
Sometimes while I've been sitting here, I'm like, maybe I should watch. And then I'm just like, I don't give a fuck, and I'll just say it. But no, it is real, man. Everything I especially when I get a bit passionate, like, it's real, bro. That's just how it is. And a lot of people are just really scared and insecure, and it's I don't like saying these things because it kind of can come across hurtful, but it's true, man. I don't know where I was going. I had something and then I kind of lost it, but no, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All good. You've actually just now inspired my final question.
Okay.
And that is, what do you chase? Like at the end of the day, when you have that big vision, when you get, what does the final destination look like? Is there a final destination? But if there is one, what does it look like for you? What do you chase? Respect? Is it a catalog? Is it, I don't know. At the end of the day, what does that final destination look like for you?
There might be like a couple. One of them has always been respect from my peers and people that I respect. Like, just lastly touching on the Izzy thing, like when I saw he like, you know, shared my stuff and he was into it and stuff like that, that was like the most humbling and respectful thing I could ever receive, because again, it's somebody that I've looked up to, that I admire, and I look at their work ethic like, holy shit, and now they're respecting something that I do. So that is always one. I mean, a final destination for me would be being with my family, financially stable and in a position where we don't have to worry anymore. And on top of that, I'm still creating and doing what I love. And hopefully I can inspire my children to go and chase what they want to do, whatever that may be. And I'm not even talking about entertainment. I'm just saying whatever the fuck they want to be. And so, I mean, yeah, that's the end goal for me, man, is just to be, my family to be good, financially stable, and just continuing to do what I love and the passion that I chose from the beginning.
It's cool, man. This is mean. Awesome. It is mean. It is, man. It is, bro. Also, it's been really inspiring. I really appreciate the energy, man. Your energy from the onset, man. It was kind of like a steady kind of, and it just went up just 100% up. And so, bro, it is very contagious, and it really is inspiring. I can just reiterating what Jay is saying, that this needs to be said, and I think a lot of men need to hear this. I think you just said it. People need to hear this. People need to hear the truth, but also people need to hear for themselves. And we don't have the power to change people. Like you said, it is, at the end of the day, it's up to them.
Yeah.
They have to change themselves and really look within themselves and look in the mirror. but really inspiring, bro. I love your passion. I love your passion, and
Thank you.
and you carry yourself really well. And from the onset, your self belief, your mindset, it's really empowering because. There's like I tend to think, I think, man, it's so sad. There's a lot of guys out there. I can imagine a lot of men watching this again. Man, I want to do that, but because of this and then and all this other stuff. And you imagine other men who are not doing things, who have now passed on, and so much talent, so much gifting, and amazing skill set, never achieved a lot of the things that they probably would have wanted to. But I love that you're carrying the flag for a lot of our men, whether it be Pacifica or Māori, and men in general, and people in general, to say, hey, believe in yourself, back yourself, do it. Just push through. Work ethic, one of the greatest things that, yeah, you're right. People need to work.
Yeah.
They need to get up and do these things.
Real quick, because I know the bro said it one time, but I'm just going to echo that chamber. A lot of people here, bro, they just want the prize. They don't want to work for it. And that's some real shit, man. I've seen that my whole life here in New Zealand is people just want the gift. They want the cake, but they don't want to help bake it, or they don't want to bake it for themselves, you know, and it's just really, really sad. And I just wish that hopefully somebody, at least one person, walks away from our conversation and is like, you know what? I'm going to fucking bake the cake today, boss. So I'm hoping that it inspires somebody to do that because, you know, I don't like, as much as my mentality is like, fuck it, you're either coming or you're in my way. Get the fuck out of my way. That's my mentality. But I do have like empathy for people out there that allow whatever, like the noise, we call it the noise, to stop them from doing what they love. Because they don't realize, like, if you just chase that, bro, your life, you're not even your life, but I don't want to say like soul, because that sounds like, oh, okay. But like, you know, just everything about you will just feel 1,000 times better once you start doing what the fuck you love to do. Whether it's entertainment, sports, whatever, cooking, I don't know. I don't know what it could be. It could be anything, but whatever it is, that feeling that you don't get until you do that thing, if you're not going after it, I just wish that more people can do that for themselves, because it's a very hard thing, but if you just do it, you'll feel way more better, and you'll see everything around you start to slowly change and start to work in your benefit, you know?
Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome. Bro, we appreciate it, man. All the best for your endeavors. Also this year, but also in the future. We look forward to the movies and all the bright lights. No, we laugh. You laugh at it, but no, we really believe it, bro. We really believe that it's going to happen, and we like to speak things into existence. And so,
for
bro,
sure,
yeah, bro, yeah. The way you're carrying on and the things you're doing, bro. All the best. Keep the amazing mahi, but also mad love to you, bro. Mad love to the work that you do and who you are. But every guest that does come on, we always give them a caricature, give them a gift, a sketch of who we envision you to be. And so, brother, this is on behalf of the Mandate team. This is for you, bro.
Oh, that's mad. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. That looks so cool. That's mad.
Nah, man.
That's mad. I was real fucking scared. I was like, what if it's like a big cock or something? I'm joking.
Save that for part 2.
It's in this room. Nah, I love this, man. This is dope. Do you want me to like show it to the camera if they can see it? That's fucking sick, dude.
Bro,
that's
man,
mad.
We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your time. And hey, Charles couldn't be here tonight, but he would have enjoyed it as well. So, but otherwise, bro, thank you so much. Is there anyone that you would recommend to be on the podcast? And someone that you think, man, this guy would be perfect on the podcast?
I'm just trying to think if you've already like sat down with them. You know, it'd be cool because he like never comes out. I actually don't know him, but David Dallas would be cool to like hear from.
Cool.
That'll be a cool one. If you get Izzy, that would be cool.
Yeah, man. Izzy, David Dallas would be awesome, bro.
Yeah.
But also as well, just one last thing as well, Sesh, because we always give the guest the last words. And so any words, any other last words of encouragement to our men out there?
I mean, like with all the ramble that I've done tonight, I guess I could just finish it by saying, just follow your heart. whatever your heart and that thing inside of you is telling you to do, whatever it is that thing is that you want to, like, just do it. It sounds like I'm mumbling, but like, really just chase after that feeling, whatever that thing is that gives you that feeling. Because I know that fucking feeling. I have that feeling every time I do my shit, and I never want to lose that. And I just hope everybody, man or woman, could just, if they could find that thing and just stick with it. Again, trust me, the rest of your world will open up. And yeah, it will come with people disagreeing with what you want to do. It will come with a bit of drama from the family or the friends. You might have to let go of your best mate who you know deep down inside ain't doing shit. He's just fucking hanging, or she's just hanging around. But if you do all of that shit, man, and you let go of those people and you just follow what you want to do, it's not selfish. It's not. The biggest thing that I had was I always felt selfish for just chasing what I wanted to do. But every time I did what everybody else wanted me to do, I was always miserable. I always felt alone and just discomfort, and it just wasn't me. So I don't know. I guess, you know, I'm just pretty much describing things I don't want people to fucking feel. So yeah.
Bro, awesome, man. Too much, bro. Hey, listen, thank you once again for your time, brother. Appreciate it.
Can I just say thank you guys for having me, man? Like it's really, I'll be honest, like no one's going to say this, but it takes a lot of courage to get somebody like myself, eh? Like I know that might, again, come across like arrogant, but I know what I'm doing and I know the things that I'm saying, and I know a lot of people don't want to like touch me because of the, you know, they're scared like, oh, what if that gets on our product or our, you know, our brand. So no, I appreciate you guys. Like when you guys reached out, man, I was like, fuck yeah, that's mad. Because like, I just hope I make sense. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Hey, thank you guys. Even the bro in the background.
Yeah, man. Brad Busby.
Brad.
Yeah, no, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. So this is our last episode for What happened to those guys?
One episode was Sesh, that was all it took.
No, man, thank you. Thank you so much.
Bro. Honestly,
yeah, bro.
straight
Thank
up.
you so much, man. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Look forward to your well thought out comments. And as usual, Jay,
Refine
unlock
and take charge. Shop.
Mandate.